Hey, it's Tina Forsyth here. You'll see me in a different surrounding. I'm actually recording this video here in my car today. Just dropped my daughter off at preschool, and as I'm sure many of you can relate to, especially if you're a parent, busy lives, busy entrepreneurs, kids, businesses, all kinds of things to take care of. So don't worry, I'm not driving as I record this. I'm actually still in the parking lot here. But given that I have my handy little iPhone 5 these days, it makes it very easy to be able to record videos like this on the fly. What I wanted to talk about today is given that we're coming up in the end of 2012, I mean, I can't believe it's almost the end of 2012. That's crazy. How does that happen? We're going into the new year, right? We're getting into 2013, and I'm sure many of you are in planning mode already. And if you're not, you should be. I mean, ideally, you want to be at the point where you're pretty clear on what you're doing next year. You're pretty clear on what's coming in 2013 and what that looks like for you and your business. Now, here's the thing. Have you shared that plan, that vision with your team yet? And I know for some of us as entrepreneurs, it can be really easy to get caught up in our own minds or get caught up in talking to our own coaches or colleagues or other people in our lives about what we have planned for our businesses. And sometimes we actually forget to tell the people that are going to help us make these things happen. Right? So even if it's just you and a VA, or it might be you and a bigger team, an online business manager and a team of people, you need to let your team know what your plans are for next year, what your big vision is for next year, right? You need to help them obviously understand what's going on and lay it out for them, your goals, what you want to accomplish, what's going to be different next year, what you want to do more of, what you want to do less of. And likewise, of course, they need to be able to plug into that vision so they can help you execute on it. Right? So they can help get the plans in place and get the pieces in place and all of that. And so that ideally you can be operating in a place of being proactive versus reactive, right? As we've talked about in past videos. But the other piece of this too that I want you to keep in mind is you need to be sharing a plan with your team and not brainstorming with your team. And here's what I mean by that. I don't know if you're familiar with the Kolbe Index. It's something I'm going to talk more about in a future video. It's actually a really awesome assessment that we're starting to use more and more in our own business as well as with our clients. And the Kolbe Index is an assessment that will tell you what you will do in work. Right? So some people are very detail oriented. Some people are very generalist. Some people are very quick start and get things going now, whereas other people like to be more methodical in things and such. And I'm just kind of broad stroking it when I say that, right? But one of the things that happens quite commonly between an entrepreneur and their team members is that in the Kolbe Index, many entrepreneurs are what is called a quick start. And a quick start is somebody who is okay with risk, can think of things quickly. It's like, let's get this going. All right, this is great. Let's get a move on. And then may change their mind too, though. Right? So it's somebody who can quickly this and is quick to go another path if need be and all of that. Right? So this is a very entrepreneurial trait. I'm sure many of you can relate to it. I am very high on quick start in this particular assessment. But here's the thing. A lot of times your team members, the people that you've hired, are not high quick starts. They don't think that way. They don't work that way. So what I want you to be aware of is your team members, in particular, those who are true implementers, right? You don't want to be brainstorming things with them necessarily. You want to share with them when you get to the point of decisions have been made and here's what needs to be done. Here's what we're doing. Here's what's actually happening. Because I know what happens with a lot of entrepreneurs is we have great ideas. And especially if you don't have a coach or someone else in your life to brainstorm and think things out loud with and all of that, we'll turn to our team members and we'll brainstorm and we'll be sharing ideas. And I'm thinking I might do this and I'm thinking I might do that. And I don't know, there's this piece and that piece. And what do you think? And all of that kind of stuff. When somebody doesn't think the way that you think, and really your team members should not be thinking exactly the way you think. Right? You need them to be the opposite of you in many ways. And you come to them with ideas and brainstorming and all of that, it actually can cause them a lot of stress. It can cause them a lot of stress because their mind, when somebody is a doer, when somebody is an implementer, and when they're really high on getting things done and thinking through all the pieces and all the details, you're brainstorming things, you're coming up with things like that with them, their mind is instantly going to every little step that has to happen. And every little thing that's going to go on and every little bit and piece that needs to be in place. And then from your mind, you're just brainstorming ideas. From their mind, they're already going through and working out the entire plan for you and getting things figured out. And then if you change your mind and, well, maybe we'll do this instead. Or what do you think about that? Or what do you think about that? right? You're going to cause them a lot of stress. They're going to end up going to that level of doing with every single thing that you come up with, right? So I just want you to be aware of that when you're sharing what you're doing with your team and how you're sharing your plan with your team. You need to connect your team in. There could be certain people on your team, don't get me wrong, that can brainstorm with you. But you need to be very clear with them and be able to say, hey, we're just brainstorming here. We're just throwing some ideas around. We're just looking at options. I'm not expecting you to take anything and make it happen yet. Versus when you know for sure, here's what we're going to do, here's what next year is going to look like, etc. That's where you get to plug your team in at that level and say, all right, decisions have been made, right? Here's what needs to happen. And then they can put that implementer mind into play for you, essentially, and start to break down the pieces and make it happen and all of that fun stuff. So an interesting distinction, and I know this can cause some friction between people and their team members out there, especially when you don't understand this distinction here yet, but I want you to consider that. You need to share your plan with your team and make sure that you share your plan with your team and not just brainstorming and ideas and you may change your mind here and there and etc. Right? So you want to, if that's where you're at and you need that help, look to a coach, look to maybe a colleague or become part of a mastermind group or something to really help you get clear. Then once you're clear, that's where you need to plug your team in to everything that's going on in 2013. So until next time, who knows where I'll be recording from next time? I tell you, now that I have this newfound freedom, I never know where I'm going to be. It's kind of fun. But until then, I'll take care, everyone. It's Tina Forsyth. Bye now.